Good morning. Today we are going to be working with some basic frit techniques. In the order of expediency here, I have pre-prepared some core beads and I have them in my rod warmer ready to go. Now, this is a subject of some controversy amongst many bead makers. Many folks say that this is something that you cannot do, that you can't take a bead that's already done and put it back in the heat and work with it. I have, through experience and trial and many failures, found ways to do it, and I use it when I need to heal a bead that has cracked either due to a thermal crack or minor incompatibility, because I am notorious for mixing my manufacturers, Sim, Fetri, Lauscha, whatever. And it's one of those things that when you put 40 minutes into a bead and it has a crack, you want to fix it. So I use my rod warmer or my kiln and I bring the bead up slowly to the temperature, or I make it like I did this one in advance, and I leave it in my rod warmer and I let it get nice and warm, and then I bring it back into the flame. If you're going to heal a bead, you can't do it in the kiln, you have to do it in the flame. You have to rewarm it, get it hot, get the glass moving, and rework it, and then put it back into the kiln. Do it first before you do any others, and give it the longest soak time in your kiln possible. This one is ready to work, and today we are going to be doing frit techniques. I'm going to use, in this first one, a tungsten pick and some Raking frit, which you can see over here. This is a bright blue on a white bead, so you can see what I'm doing. What I'm doing right now is I'm just heating up the skin, and this technique is called raking or dragging, for which I want the skin of the bead hot, but not necessarily the core. And I just want to pick up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. If you pick up too much, that's great. You get a lot of color, but you won't be able to really see what I'm doing. Introduce it into the flame slowly again, because remember, your frit is cold. And if you pop your frit right into the flame, well, the frit's going to pop right into your lap or your hair or, your chest and arms. It's going to go where it wants to go and not where you wanted it to go. So take your time with your frit. Bring it back into temperature. Now, I'm going to give myself a little more heat, and I'm going to aim it right at that frit. Now I'm working with a 104 core bead and 96 COE frit. You can get away with this in small amounts. You don't want to do too much of it. You get your incompatibility cracks. You can encase it lightly. But just keep in mind they are different COEs, and you want to respect that and treat them as such. Don't overdo it, because it simply won't work. But in the case of frit, 96 COE frit is usually more saturated in color. You get a lot more variety. You can get different colors than you can in 104. Alright, this is ready to go. So I've got my nice barrel shape. I use the barrel shape when I'm practicing techniques. It gives me a bigger canvas, more stable bead, and you don't need as much glass. You just kind of wrap it thin, but you get a big surface on which to practice. When you're practicing, use basic colors. Don't use your EDPs. Don't use your expensive glasses. This is practice, and it's time for your cheap $4 a pound stuff. And when you get your technique going, then you can use your expensive glasses. So what I'm doing is I'm heating 1/2 of the bead, because I'm going to do 2 drags, so you can see what's going on, 2 rakings. Heating 1/2. I don't want the whole bead hot, I just want the skin. I'm using a tungsten pick. You can use a stringer. Grab the skin. Oh, I'm trying to hold it above the flame so you can see, but it doesn't really heat the glass. And just drag it. The tungsten does not stick to hot glass like metal or brass would. There's my first drag. Cool my pick. Reheat my bead just so I can get my shape back. Keep one side of your barrel cool when you're working on a warm side, that enables you to reclaim your shape. You can kind of see how that raked a little bit. And now we're going to do the other side. You can do the other side going the other direction if you are able to change hands and work ambidextrous. I unfortunately do not have a lot of coordination in my left hand, so I'm usually restricted to going the same direction. Again, touch down, and a little bit hotter, and drag. It's tricky for me when I'm doing it, and I'm trying to keep it above the flame so you can see what I'm doing. I'm used to doing it right in the flame and getting a really good drag going. But that went around an extra time because I really kind of wanted to see if I could get a good pull going. And I've lost my shape. Go back to your marver. This is the best tool that I have ever invested in, this L-shaped graphite marver. I use it on every bead. It helps me with my ends, it helps me with my rounds. I love this tool. If you have the money to afford it, it's a simple, basic, usually around 30 bucks. Attaches to almost any torch, and away you go. So, there's basic dragging all the way around. You can do a lot more. You can do squiggles back and forth like this and really kind of get a marbleized look. A little insurance heat here. Another technique I'm going to show you on this one is that you can also go left to right. You don't have to go all the way around. You heat the spot where you want to work, that side of the bead. I chose it because there's some dots there, and you reach in, you grab your dots, and you pull it down. Pull it out as you start to get to the end so you don't get a big bump. Cool your pick. I've lost my shape, that's okay. Marver it back into shape. And take a look at what you got. Need a little more marvering. There we go. So that gives me, now I've gone that way, so I have it coming across and I have it going down. Sometimes it can get messy if you do it that way. Unless you're really going to marbleize it, try to choose one way or the other. But the cool thing about doing a left to right is your next stripe you can do going the other direction, and then you get a back and forth pattern, and it really can look kind of neat. It's the same effect as if you go this way and then go that way. So very simple, straightforward. It's called raking. I prefer to use contrasting colors when I do this so people can really see it, but it's fun if you do a multicolor. For our challenge for this month, November of 2017, we are asking that you not use reactive frits. That does not mean you can't use reactive glass. You can use EDP, you can use ivory, you can use the copper green or the turquoise colors. But the frit itself, we want to just be basic colors because we want you to practice the techniques. We don't want folks overwhelmed with the amazing, double helix or the Reichenbach reactives and whatnot. Just choose simple stuff, simple colors, and let's get consistency and technique down. And then later on, in other months, we're going to work with silver glass. We do have a plan for that. So there you go. That's raking. Donna Felkner, in her other video, has shown you how to do this with a stringer, to pull a stringer and to do a nice swirl. So make sure you check that out as well. And I'll be back in a few minutes with another technique for you. Thanks for watching.